The Cirebon regency is located right on the border between the provinces of West Java and Central Java, a couple of hundred kilometers from the world's most polluted capital city, Jakarta. The coastal town recently became a litmus test for Indonesia's energy transition and climate policy. It is home to one of the coal-fired power plants that the government plans to retire earlier than expected. Indonesia's ambition to reduce its carbon emissions and transition to clean energy hinges on its plan to shut coal plants earlier than designed.
Hi, I'm Divya, a journalist at the Jakarta-Post, and in this coverage, I will investigate the importance of early coal retirement projects in Indonesia.
We will dive into the challenges of shutting down coal plants in Indonesia and how local residents are often oblivious to the dangers lurking from the power plant's emissions. The tale of Cirebon 1 power plant is the epitome of the coal situation in Indonesia. Many new coal plants have come online as the government pushes for greater electrification. Like most of the coal-fired power plants in Indonesia, the Cirebon 1 plant, at only 11 years old, is still relatively new. And like many of the newer coal plants, the one in Cirebon has been installed with technology that makes it emit less pollution. But it still releases pollutants into the air. This predicament causes huge estimated economic losses due to absenteeism and an increase in cardiovascular diseases. Operations at the Cirebon 1 coal-fired facility has increased carbon monoxide levels in the air. But like other coal plants, air pollution is not the only consequence. The facility's cooling water disposal has also changed water temperature surrounding it. Consequently, for over 10 years now, several coastal villages in West Java have had their lives overturned by the coal plant's operations. Aman, one of a long line of fishermen in his family, witnessed the significant impact of the power plant's operations on the fishing community along the Cirebon River located in the Mundu district.
Contohnya aja kalau misalnya limbahnya keluar tuh, yang di sekitar sini nggak ada ikan contohnya.
Water is an excellent way to cool down a reactor, which is why many power plants are located along rivers and coasts where water is ample and free. But when the coolant water returns to the sea, it becomes warmer, causing fish to leave the deeper, cooler waters, making them more difficult for fishermen to catch. Salt farmers are also affected by the environmental change. Muhammad Taufik, chairman of the West Java Salt Farmers Association, spoke about a noticeable change in the salt production landscape in the area.
Akibat dari pembakaran melalui batu bara itu debu kan berterbangan. Secara otomatis di situ ada banyak debu batu bara yang terkandung yang bersama-sama pengkristalannya dengan garam. Beda dengan di daerah-daerah lain kan gitu.
Airborne ash is an environmental hazard as it contains organic pollutants and probable toxic metals, which are harmful when inhaled and accumulated in soil downwind from the power plant. However, the government in 2021 declassified airborne ash as hazardous waste because it is still below the quality standards for dangerous and toxic indicators, says the Environment and Forestry Ministry. Observed from a brief visit, Cirebon looks like just any other city bustling with activities. Several researchers, however, point out to the dangers lurking behind the constant exposure to air pollution emitted from not one, but 3 coal-fired powerhouses positioned less than 90 kilometers from its city center. Riko Nurmansyah, a researcher at the Prakarsa think tank, visited Cirebon in April to study the impact of coal-fired power plants on the people's health and Cirebon's agricultural landscape.
Kami menelusuri dalam turun lapang, pertama pada aspek pertanian, ya, ada ditemukan oleh salah satu petani yang saya wawancarai, yaitu adanya debu dari PLTU yang itu hinggap di tanaman padi. Hal itu menyebabkan tanaman padi itu mengalami penurunan ataupun penurunan kualitas.
Meanwhile, Asmun, a salt farmer from the Kanchi village, said he was troubled about the air pollution coming from the coal plant.
Ya bisa jadi ke lingkungan karena ke depan nggak jelasnya pakai batu bara kan itu limbah kan orang menghirup udara yang nggak kelihatan. Ya, ya kalau orang sakit sih ada aja, tapi nggak tahu asal usulnya dari mana gitu, namanya orang kampung gitu ya. Tapi kalau orang-orang yang bisa ngomong, wah nih gara-gara ada itu ini bisa jadi kalau yang itu. Kalau orang-orang kita begini sih, orang sakit begini ngadu ke siapa?
The same issue was raised by the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air's lead analyst, Lori Milivirta.
The pollution doesn't follow the boundaries of cities or municipalities. Pollutants from coal-fired power plants travel very long distances, hundreds of kilometers. So the pollution from Cirebon 1, of course, affects the communities that are around the power plant and close by, but also people all the way in Jakarta and Bandung and other cities. So there's no way to put a number on how many people are at risk, because people are hundreds of millions of people are affected at very varying degrees, of course.
Coal-dependent Indonesia consumes about 130 million tons of coal per year to fuel 51% of its 81 gigawatt electricity capacity. Cirebon 1 is an essential part of the colossal amount, 660 megawatts, of electricity produced and distributed through the State Electricity Company, PLN's 30 gigawatt Java, Madura, and Bali electricity network. Joseph Pangalila, the vice president of Cirebon 1 operator, PT Cirebon Electric Power, said the company uses supercritical technology to increase efficiency and subsequently reduce pollution.
Jadi dilihat dari sisi CO2 maupun dari SO sulfur maupun dari NOx ya. Nah, nanti bisa terlihat bahwa aktualnya jauh lebih rendah dibandingkan dengan syarat lingkungan.
Despite cutting-edge technology, studies have shown a staggering few of the dangers which remain.
Teknologi di PLTU sendiri seperti yang sudah digunakan di Jepara misalnya dengan ultra supercritical itu tidak menjamin emisi yang dihasilkannya menjadi lebih berkurang, tapi itu hanya berkaitan dengan efisiensi dalam proses pembakaran PLTU itu saja. Dan dampaknya tetap bisa dirasakan apa yang terjadi di PLTU Jepara misalnya. Masyarakat yang tinggal di sekitaran PLTU tetap mengalami permasalahan kesehatan yang berkaitan dengan pernafasan. Mereka juga mengalami gatal-gatal, dan ini tak lain dan tak bukan disebabkan karena pencemaran yang disebabkan dari PLTU, bahkan dengan teknologi terbaik ultra supercritical itu sendiri.
Due to the health and environmental concerns over the coal-fired power plants like the one in Cirebon, the government plans to retire the country's coal-fired power plant fleet within the next few decades. But where will the money to retire them come from? The Asian Development Bank has devised an energy transition mechanism, or ETM, to pool funds from private banks, philanthropists, multilateral organizations, and the Group of 7 countries, among other sources, to acquire and then retire coal plants early. Cirebon 1 is the first to be retired under the scheme. The plant will need 250 to 300 million US dollars in compensation to be shut down within 10 to 15 years. The facility has a 40 to 50-year lifespan. How does the ETM work, and what are the criteria of coal plants that need to be retired? An ETM is a regional blended finance program that aims to retire existing coal-fired power plants earlier and replace them with renewable power capacity. The ETM country platform, PT Sarana Multi Infrastruktur, is responsible for preparing the investment plan and funding for energy transition projects in Indonesia.
Nah, kalau PLTU Cirebon, setahu saya kontraknya itu akan berakhir di 2042. Nah, rencananya kalau dengan rencana yang sekarang di ITM, akan dipensiunkan 2035, jadi 7 tahun lebih awal. Jadi memang PLTU Cirebon ini ya mau nggak mau harus dipensiunkan, gitu loh, harus dipensiunkan. Ya kalau paling lambat 2042, kalaupun itu kan dia harus diturunkan capacity factor-nya, atau ya memang dipensiunkan lebih awal tadi kayak 2035.
We are going to run out of fossil fuels. If we continue to consume coal at our current rate, we'll run out of coal in 139 years. But demand for the commodity has been hovering at near record highs for the past decade and will continue to skyrocket, pushed by continuing growth in major Asian emerging markets such as India, Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines.
Higher power demand as a result of rising income and population will continue to be met by coal-generated electricities in these countries.
We can either navigate the transition away from the dirty fuel by transitioning to a lower energy, post-growth renewable future, or we keep burning all the coal we can find to maintain the fantasy of endless economic growth, and we will either destroy the environment or just start to run out of fossil fuels.